Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Itze. It's Champions League Q2 Group H and the semi-final Meeple over people from the Netherlands versus Rodaz from Moldova. Both players I'm not really familiar with. Meeple over people here looks to have a solid rating around 600 with peaks in the higher 600s. They haven't reached the master threshold yet, but maybe it's in their future. Who knows? Rodaz, on the other hand, is rather a 500-ish player. All these here between 400 and 500 would let me favor Meeple over people. I've played versus Rodaz before, but can't really remember any of the games. Only checked the results, and they were reasonably close, so they definitely should be able to have a chance here today. Where's my scoreboard? Here should be the scoreboard. Yeah. Curve first, imprecision. Tiles like these here are exactly the reason why pointing this upwards usually is the better idea. Hey Kaika, hey Juan. Yeah, good evening to you too. Over there in Malaysia, where there's a sunset already behind you, I guess. So we'll see. In the end, I just hope for an interesting match here today. I would expect a rather close one. Yeah, going for a field this early, I don't know. And Juan seems to be in the Americas, 7 a.m. So, well, can't be North America. Argentina, Chile, maybe. I mean, there was a better spot there available. Yeah, so Argentina it is for Juan. You set the alarm to watch the stream? I announced the stream 20 minutes ago, I think. Okay. Yeah. So he was just kidding. Yeah, so definitely expecting imprecisions here and suboptimal moves, even though both are rated around 600 and both are experienced with thousands of games under their belt. Definitely not the strongest players all around. So we'll see how this meeple here turns out. I really don't see the need to op on the farm there. For now, it works in blue's favor. I mean, this field will only grow with all these green area on its borders. But in the end, blue for sure will attack it. And you might very well end up with a tight field, and then this open cap here was just a waste. As it turns out here, blue might need to defend or indirectly defend their city. One dagger is gone, so anything from the top would be annoying. For example, they could have used their curve up here. Attack the farm this way. And still at least take away a few options for yellow to exert pressure against their city. They didn't, and why go after 2 points from your opponent if the upside of your own city is way better and it's the ideal, the perfect with a shield Dorito to continue your city? I don't like this at all. Yes, if they close this and add another farmer, it's a hiccup, it's annoying, but there's a chance to counter this anyway. And your biggest threat right now would be to score a 12-point city here at the bottom. In some cases, even up to 16 points, actually. Yeah. Second farmer at the cost of dropping another city cap instead of just taking it and going on the farm later on. And now we'll see a road attack, which in this case seems to be fine. You support your monastery as well. Also, things turn south. At least the field is capped a bit on the left side with this crossroad. Yeah, 2 points over here likely. The good news about this farmer, though, is that yellow quite likely won't use their curve over here to restrict blue city, just because they don't like this one entering their field. Yeah, at least now the right priority. Just taking 4 points. Take care of the city later. There will be more field Doritos to come. On the other hand, this connection might have also been a good idea, but 4 points are 4 points. This here would have only been 3 points net gain. I would expect this to be closed. There's right now no need to meeple the city as all blue meeples are in play. And there are only a select few that could be liberated with one move. So we are running a bit low on regular straights. Still 4 left, but we aren't even in the middle of the game. Not in the exact middle of the game. Yeah, and that's the problem now. I could have added these juicy tiles to your city at the bottom if only a Dorito were here. Now all these squares are limited and you can't place big city plus road pieces there. Can't really extend your city either, as could get limited into one of your monastery squares. No open road. So really, that's the best you can do with a juicy tile like a road Dorito. And something went wrong earlier. only one dagger each left, so both these squares are under threat by this road here, and wouldn't surprise me if yellow jumps on the chance to restrict either one of them. There's no pressing need to do something else with the curve, else they could consider this limitation to the two remaining crossroads. Actually, there won't be a better limitation available as of now. There's still two starting tiles left and 3 straights. So yeah, why not? Also, there would be the secondary field to snatch later, and creating green squares up top would work fine for this field. Yeah, so they went for restriction here. Still a 75% chance for blue to get their meeple back. And their problem, though, is there are only these two crossroads left, and they already need a crossroad to liberate the road meeple. But the addition of 4 points would sure be nice. Yeah, it's sure looking like a nice monastery. But in this case, you're pressed for meeples and quite likely won't get one back soonish. I'm not convinced this was ideal. There's also this road end here, so a block might be coming in. On the other hand, you control yellow's road. Yes, you unite the farms here, so your farmer up top is rather precariously placed there. Might end up with 0 points unless you support this farmer later with a second one, maybe over here, although again this connection would be very iffy. But at least blue got one of the roses to liberate their road meeple, and now they again have one meeple in hand to score quick points, and right now they are even ahead, even though yellow has a nice field. And well, that's the problem. Oh, come on. Yeah. Yellow attacks the city as it's the biggest feature, biggest threat even, and they have good chances to be successful. There are still 6 big city tiles out there. The bull is in their hands, is in blue's hands, sorry. And well, what is there? This one would be my favorite. It's likely, very likely even, that yellow will take over this city. So I'd rather give them 2 points to prevent a quick closure of this city. Also give me chances of possibly killing this square to the bull here. But they don't. They opt to kill a meeple on the secondary field, which actually I don't like. This might be your chance to offset yellow's field. I'd rather would have killed this cap at the bottom. So now, again, not sure if they know about these sorts of moves. Let's see. It's definitely a spanner in yellow's works, and they don't. You have to take away the easiest completion route of them all, which would be a double Dorito. But thankfully, yellow makes things hard on themselves and more or less gets saved by the deck. They will use, I guess they will use here or there. They don't. Oh, okay, interesting. Not sure what's yellow gunning for with this configuration then. I would have just dumped this somewhere else. Both splitters are gone, so there was no immediate threat of a direct attack. There are still 5 Doritos left, so this was shaping up perfectly. Still 3 triple cities in the deck to unite these city parts, and then drawing 2 out of 5 Doritos actually is quite likely. So why the extender there? It doesn't really make sense to me. Yeah, but after all, still a close game. Rodaz could take this one and then hope to draw a cap to attack the main field. Maybe with still 2 extenders out there, yellow is hoping for this option. I mean, it could work, but the problem is you'd rather draw a second extender before getting a Dorito, as the Dorito placed there would give back limitation options. For now, they tag Blues City, prevent the immediate finalization and a field attack. So definitely a good move in this case. Blue might have to play against this square to kill it. Any city part from the top would really help. Losing these 10 points could be game deciding, even if the city won't close in the end. Yellow could defend. Oh, it's blue's turn. And actually, this will be quite likely the reason why blue in the end loses this game. This attack definitely is ill-advised. One, the field is worth 15 points. So for now, it scores more than this city. And on the other hand, getting a meeple back here, when there's only one rotary to left to liberate your monastery, which would also extend yellow's field, give them a meeple back, and only the 2 crossroads is hard. So you miss out on quite a lot of chances of scoring quick points. And there are still city caps to go. It's, well, still possible to close this city though, even though unlikely you need to draw one of the vanillas, and the remaining left-handed dagger. So if I were yellow, I wouldn't go here. It sure looks nice to score these 7 plus 3 points, but keeping blue at 0 meeples might still be my preference. Alternatively, just score 2 points, but they go for the monastery. Yep, the shiny points might work in the end, of course. They now have a 15-point lead, but the lead could be offset with one quick strike by blue, which would be tying a yellow's 18-point field. And even if they don't manage to tie the field, getting this crossroad for 5 points plus a second meeple in hand, possibly taking over the right side by drawing all triple cities, could be enough. Plus there's this 6-point field on the left side and more caps. There's an open cap here. So we'll see. Well, I could add critical tiles. There are quite a lot. Also, this monastery is rather hard to complete due to the lack of other monasteries. There's only one left, and especially curves, so you can't close it like this. Well, straights are gone as well. So there are only 2 crossroads remaining and no other vanilla road pieces after yellow straight. Yeah, he could. So Kaika suggests this desperate field attack by getting the dagger. Now that the monastery is gone, this is actually not the worst idea. The problem is there would still be another vanilla left. So your chances to successfully execute this are roughly 30%. It's a 50-50 flip for the dagger, plus your opponent has the one killing option available to them. And of course, after this hypothetical move, they would be the first one to execute a move. So Kaika said desperate, and that's the right term here. If blue really is desperate, they could try this. But now this option is gone. Yellow just drew the dagger. I mean, they surely are frightened that blue might tie the field. Come on, it's a 7-point move. And you just dropped this there. And I mean, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah. Taking 7 points now? I mean, any reason not to? So these we don't really care about anymore. Rodaz 5 points. Second meeple back. And there's life here. They are alive. They only need to dodge the triple cities and then just attack maybe 6 points fields or attack the main field, of course. Oh. If yellow's previous move are any indication, I would pack them on this move here, which I don't the tile snap anymore. Which would give them this chance. Instead, they go for this, which is also nice. There's still one vanilla left. It secures this secondary field, gives them the chance, if blue were to attack somewhere else, to possibly unite these fields, although it doesn't look like blue still has a chance. Well, there's one option I see, which would be this desperate thing here. In some instances, though, this could be executed successfully. Blue has this in hand. I wouldn't argue for this move. It's just too desperate and too easily killed. And they have other ways of winning this one. Scoring a net 5 points, for example. So they are down -8. If they are able to close this city, they would score additional 5 -3 points to yellow's field, so 2. Reduce the difference to 6 points. 6 points are available in the top left for them to take with almost all tiles. Well, 2/3 of the tiles, actually. Both horse and Rotorito don't work. But again, they need to dodge the triple city pieces. So 1 cap and then 2 triple city pieces quite likely would win them the game. So take this one. For good measure, maybe add a farmer. Although, actually, maybe not. The farmer would only ever score 3 points, whereas this field is worth 6 points, and you could take a ruin for 5, as the horse is a shielded one. Einet Pira. And again, a no big city tile for yellow. Will blue be able to dodge both remaining ones and take this game? You'd like to donate? Why would you like to donate? Would be my question. I could give you a PayPal address if you wanna, actually. So Rodaz now with a big city piece in hand, for sure will take the farm. There is nothing else. And then it's just a matter of getting the horse to win the game. Sure, unlucky for yellow not getting any of the big city tiles to go here. There were at least 3 out there, and yellow gets the silver bullet, will connect up here, will tie the ruin, and will win this game. on their penultimate move, unless they heavily blunder or run out of time. Yep, take, I don't know, 5 points here. Is there anything better? I don't see it. Well, this actually has a winning chance, even though it's mathematically impossible for you to win you the game. Your opponent could. If you take these 5 points and they would support your road and connect in their fields, it would still work for you, but of course, yellow doesn't. So yeah, interesting game. Swingy AF. The pendulum swung from blue to yellow, from yellow to blue, and back again, and then mostly stayed in yellow's favor due to their main field. But they gave blue a precious meeple back. Then blue finally got themselves a crossroad and were able to make it interesting. In the end, they weren't able to draw all 3 big city tiles. So yellow deservedly won in the end, I think. Let me take a quick break. Okay, looks like they need a few seconds to set up the second game, but here we go. This time it's Rodaz starting, as they are playing a regular game with a slow time, and therefore the starting player alternation works. Exchanging pleasantries, and here we go. I won't even complain about wasting precious seconds, as it's not a fixed 15-minute game, but one with increments. So full 2 minutes, 45 seconds per move if you don't use the full increment plus more. And 245 actually in most situations should be enough. Not for a really tricky and math-heavy endgame though, and therefore the 15-minute option is sometimes, well, just better for you. I don't like this self-invasion. It's just not worth enough to do that. Even if it's annoying, I would just go for a second city here. There are a lot of tiles still out there, so in many cases, even though this here is a bit problematic, it turns out just fine. Whereas this here allows yellow to threaten this square. And if they successfully manage to kill this one, which they should try, even with a crossroad, especially when there's actually no better option available, This game could turn a south for blue within the first 15 moves here. They can't really play anything to their cities except for road Doritos or horses like this. And yellow goes for it. Blue has to defend. The question is, which direction is better? In the beginning, it would be this one. There are still 7 curves left to immediately kill your city. So they go for this option, hope to draw one of the big city pieces or road Dorito, even a cap with the road. So to continue the explanation, the blocking piece, the only one available right now, would be a right-handed dagger. So only 3 blocking pieces available and way more saving pieces for blue. But all this here could have been prevented by just turning this cap to the south, and then this Dorito would have fit nicely next to it. Still not perfect. Still, there would be this square to exert pressure against both cities. But at least I would prefer this situation about the one we are witnessing here. Yellow is building a ruin, trying to protect it. Could have gone for the city. I mean, it's rather safe there. Yeah, I would have definitely liked this one. Yeah, only 3 daggers in the deck. Yellow hits one right before blue got one of the saving tiles. And therefore it doesn't look great for blue here, losing 2 meeples for 5 points only when your opponent already has an 8-point city thingy. It's technically not a ruin. It looks like one though. So this iffy square here, like this one. And some folks might still invest caps there. These 2 you need there at least. I wouldn't. Just treat it as a ruin. Dump city pieces there you don't need somewhere else and max out the score from the caps you get somewhere else. Yeah, if you wanna max your city points scoring, that's fine. But with so many city plus road pieces still out there, maybe just leaving this empty, placing the extender somewhere else, and patiently waiting for another cap could have been considered. On the other hand, there aren't really great options to add this extender somewhere. Again, these moves here, rather this move here, that's pretty bad. Having city cap somewhere is, well, the best dumping ground for an extender. I mean, they would have closed it by now with this rose, but well, past is in the past. Let's see if blue manages to still win this game. For now, they should actually defend this one. There would be still 5 pieces left to go here. If they don't defend, they'd risk the restriction to the 2 remaining daggers. Can't justify meepling this cap, although actually you could. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, big city tile like that, there are a lot of road pieces out there to save the square, and then you might be able to work your way into yellow's city / ruin. It's a ruin now, by the way. The fate of this city has been sealed by adding this Dorito. There's just no way out of it. This square will be dead in the end. If someone decides to place a dagger there, which no one would. Yeah, yellow with the straight threatens blue city even more. Blue defense and can't justify taking a cap because why this monastery? I mean, the placement sure is fine, trying to obstruct yellow city, but why place it there? If you are going for the obstruction, why take this monastery? I mean, winning a mini battle 8-4 in the end sure is nice, but not when you're down meeples. Oh man, this really hurts. It worked out for blue. They were lucky enough to draw a cap before yellow did. And they still maintain an 8-point lead on the virtual scoreboard. And this might even increase once they connect to yellow's ruin. Or draw one of the 2 remaining roses. But in the long run, yellow's meeple majority should see them surging ahead here. So with this monastery, they created a juicy field here, which they need to take before the rose hits, else blue will take the 9-point field. And if blue's feeling lucky, they could even take the field now, which I definitely wouldn't advise, as in the long run, yellow quite surely would take over the field, and I would even consider just getting my meeple back, but they go for the field nonetheless. And we'll see how this will turn out. Will we see us monastery stacking over here maybe? In yellow's case, this works quite nicely. Having 2 squares to support both your monasteries. There are still a lot of road pieces out there you could use. They go for this one, which only has the 1 shared space. And considering for now this is blue's field, they might even add pieces over here. So I would have preferred the bottom right option, just because you could pretty easily use straights there to get at least the 1 monastery back, and might later on get the second one as well. Yeah, to yellow's detriment, and they also supplied blue with this 4-point road. And the lead now at 22 points looks quite decisive. So these monasteries surely will score more points. The problem, though, is the meeples will be stuck there for quite some time. So yellow attacks the farm over here. Still has this one. When closed, could attack the farm with a second meeple. And no matter which piece they'd use to close their city, they'd have two options to connect to the farm as sketched. And here's the trouble for blue. All these open squares on your field belong to your opponent. So do you really want to add these twin caps there? Would protect against this attack, but it would also supply your opponent's monastery with a city cap next to it. So they don't. They create a city far away from the action. Why is there no meeple here? Come on, jump on it. Yes, there's only one dagger which would secure you this connection, and there are more pieces to thwart the left attack. But if you don't add a meeple there, blue for sure will jump on this chance to support their main farmer and secure this field. But it was blue's last meeple. Again, this monastery hurts. They still have the city meeple up top, which is easily liberated though. And even though this here would be very profitable, actually, taking away a lot of caps from yellow, also preventing the field attack, I think they still go for the top move. Not sure that's the right priority though. But it's definitely more effective to use road pieces like yellow has in hand to restrict yellow's small city next to their monastery. So I think yellow should defend. This here would be more effective in terms of monastery building, as you could use the straits there plus a cap here, but the way they chose is safer in terms of city building, as it doesn't take away starting tiles and roses from your arsenal of city finalization pieces. At -19 though, I'm not sure they can afford the luxury of using slightly inefficient moves like that. This is a double threat. For one, it limits yellow's monastery to the one remaining dagger. And on the other hand, it asserts pressure on this shared square of yellow city and monastery, of course. Again, blue with one of the twin caps in hand and can't easily support their field. This here would be volatile as hell, so I'd refrain. What? From using this over there. No. No, definitely not. Sure, it adds some points to your farm, but it actually is a 0-point move. So adding 3 points, 4 points to yellow, 3 points to your farm, 1 point to you. It's your last meeple. There are still big city tiles out there. In any case, if I were yellow, I might have not even scored these 3 points, but just added this to blue city just to prevent them from getting a meeple back. But at this score, of course, yellow needs to score points, so it's always top notch if your opponent helps you. And the other problem with this move is once you close your city, which you quite surely would like to do, you'd give your opponent an easy field attack like this, for example. There would be a monastery left and curvies, or they could use something on the other side and connecting with straight or straightish pieces. And also you've set up this beautiful monastery square to be used by them. And again, quite surely yellow will attack here if given the chance. For now, they reduce the spread to 6 points, and it looks like yellow could even win without tying blue's field. One option would be getting the splitter to re-attack e12. No, it's 11 points now with this 12. We've connected more. The ruin. Another option would be to use the splitter maybe over here to create a secondary field. Although there are would only be 2 caps left, so not as juicy as it could be in some situations. Therefore, I definitely prefer the immediate attack here. So yellow, wow, gets this dagger, and blue even helped them. So that's pre-protection maybe. Sure, would still be immediately killed with Rotoritus, and for that matter could be rendered a ruin with the horse, but at least crossroad and curve don't fit here anymore. Yeah. And if you're blue, do you go for this attack now? I think you should. Even if it's your last meeple. Just defending your field doesn't work. This doesn't work. Or shouldn't work. Now blue will score these 4 points. And this square is dead as they got the remaining city caps for yellow's city there. But here comes the prime opportunity for yellow to attack the field. Still 3 pieces to connect there, and even 4 on the right side. Sure, both options would be blockable, but blue can't block both at the same time, and you could defend the right one even, and this is even better. This is even better, maybe? Maybe? Is it better? Well, 4 out of 7 tiles would connect there. Yeah, it sure must be better. So at +5, will we see blue going for the re-attack? To me, this here looks like a losing move. Trying to kill this square definitely should work better. In this case, though, it doesn't, as yellow immediately gets the crossroad. They for sure will connect here. The question is, do you take the road? And with 1 road end still out there, plus more road pieces, I might. Now it would be not wise to attack, as this would be killed immediately with all 4 pieces going here, and no option to connect this way. So actually, blue would need to use a ninja, but this here would give pretty huge road back to yellow. So this ninja actually would be better. But even then, it doesn't matter. They are down 13 points. It doesn't matter, actually. They are down 13 points. The field is at 18. So they would take a 5-point lead again if they successfully attack the field. The problem of this option is the still remaining straight, which would kill this immediately. But I still think you have to go for it. This here never works. It never works. You connect, but your opponent can, with all tiles out there, just take this road. So in the end, you connect for +18, but they get the road for 8. So it's a 10-point move overall for you at -13. That's not enough. And no Kolpnik ninja at the bottom doesn't work. Ninja at the top, even though the chances to connect are less, would be the only chance to win this one. Of course, it all depends on whether yellow is able to calculate this, to see this. Let's see. Yeah, okay, if yellow hadn't any meeples in hand, of course, this here would be the way to go, with 2 out of 4 tiles connecting you and no blocking option available for your opponent. That's for sure. And yellow misses it. And actually, it doesn't matter. If blue connects now, yellow could still take this road later. Yeah. So my fault, not yellow's. This definitely was okay in yellow's case here. And actually, it never works. Might be wrong. There's one permutation. If yellow would have gotten the straight and hadn't taken the road, then blue could have closed the road and then on their last turn connected. But in that case, yellow would have added the straight on their monastery, and with their last turn would have used the Dorito here and would still win. Yeah. So I stand by it. This here never works without mistakes by opponent, that is. So let's see. Good move. Yeah, indeed, good move. And looks like this option for blue would have worked in the permutation we've got here. Yeah, looks like I'll have more stuff for another video here, because this sure is an interesting and not so subtle difference. Yeah, Juan, negating the road was the option of closing it beforehand. But again, this only works if your opponent messes up their move. So when actually, let me open the replay. Why not take a few minutes? To check out this situation in more detail. So here we are. Blue adds the attack here. They are again -13. Connecting would net them 18 points for +5, but then there's this road, so any piece bar yellow and all 4 pieces would take this here, and therefore should never work unless yellow makes a mistake. This, on the other hand, has quite the good chance of working, so there would be the straight for blue, so that's 1 in 4 chance for blue to win, for yellow to win. And if yellow gets this one here, you would have a 2 in 3 chance on your next turn to get a Dorito. If yellow gets a Dorito, you have a 1 in 3 chance. And in the end, definitely would be the better option. Yeah, I stick to it and will analyze this and polish it a bit more when I have the time. Okay, then congratulations to MeepleOverPeople. They, with this win, advanced to the final versus either Cherry Papa from South Korea or Logan Ganesh from Malaysia. Rodaz, on the other hand, should play in the bottom semifinal in the lower bracket versus Panzer or BDDL1, and still has a chance to reach the Champions League by winning 3 matches in a row, whereas MeepleOverPeople has 2 chances, either winning the upper final or, if they lose, winning the consolidated final to still reach the Champions League. So what's on the menu today? Later on, there's Lawyer versus Phosphate, covered by Alexi. And in the evening, it looks like Michael Squalus was added. Well, there's definitely Smile versus Bluster, which I intend to cover. And I might take on this match as well. We'll see later. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out Carcassonne GG if you wanna see all the available streams on one side. And in the next days, especially on European Saturday, looks like a lot of matches there. So I might be covering something on the weekend as well. Yep. So thanks to you for tuning in. Have a good day or night, depending on your time zone, of course. And I'll see you out there. Bye-bye.